much do you trust the Russians to take the leadership in finding a path when it's their ally who's in the middle of this?
Well, you will be happy to know, Newt, that I agree with Ronald Reagan's assessment, trust but verify. And we need to spend the next several days verifying. And that's exactly what's happening. Secretary Kerry is en route to Geneva. He'll meet with Lavrov. They need to put this in a pressure cooker, and if it withstands pressure, then we should take it. You know, it is actually in Putin's interest. I believe he's calculated that it is in his interest to do a deal. We have to ascertain whether it's in our interest to do this deal.
Well, here's my question. When you look at David Kaye and other United Nations inspectors, they say that this is virtually impossible to do. You have a huge amount of chemical weapons scattered around the country in the middle of a civil war. And the process of trying to go in there and take care of those would be enormously complex. Doesn't it worry you that it may well be just that it's an interesting ploy, but that in reality the complexity of doing it is going to make it very hard?
We won't know whether it's a ploy or a play, whether it's real or not, until we vet it out. And that's our responsibility right now. We've got a couple benchmarks. One is what happens in Geneva. And the second is that the UN will produce its report sometime next week, and the Congress will take a look at that report. Those two benchmarks give us a time frame for assessing whether we should proceed through a diplomatic route or through other means. I am hoping more than I've ever hoped in public policy that diplomacy works. But if it doesn't work, I believe we have an obligation for our own security not to enable and empower regimes to use chemical weapons against us or their own people.
And Newt,